All right, good morning, traders. Today is June 1st, 2026. My name is Coach Kerrigan. I'm lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. That is the day trading service for the hit and run candlesticks family. Not to say that the other two do not do day trading, they do as much as I do. So, probably not as much as I do, but they also participate in day trading as well sometimes. All right, so let's take a peek at the markets. We'll take a peek in just a minute here. Right now, we got some announcements to make. Thursday, got e-learning for the members. All right, so if you're a member of any one of those three services, BYOB, Right Way Options, Hit and Run Candlesticks, you're invited to be at our Thursday afternoon webinar where Doug will give a presentation on my favorite trade setups and examples. All right. I will at 1 o'clock. So Doug's going to give probably a 50-minute to a 60-minute presentation. I do the same thing, 50-minute to 60-minute presentation. Then Rick comes in at 2. And he's going to give a 50-minute to 60-minute presentation. All right, so that's going to happen on Thursday. That is for the members. If you want to find out how to get there, we can go over to your Hit and Run Candlesticks website. And instead of logging into the BYOB trading room, and by the way, you can be logged into both of them at the same time. You would log in to the combined e-learning room right here. So over here to the right, it's the second one. Normally these videos are recorded. I can't guarantee that it's going to be recorded, but I think there's a high probability that it will be recorded. All of our past videos are located under the resources tab. And if you come down to e-learning replays, and you will see past e-learning replays right through here. Now there's about 10 videos per page. All right, and I think we have over 36 pages. Yeah, we got about 36 pages. So that's 10 times 36 is 360 videos right there. And if that's not enough learning for you, we've even got these public webinars from the past that are also recorded and kept here as resources. And there's 10 videos per page. And again, you'll find that there's 20 pages of those. There's another 200 videos. So plenty of learning material on here for you. If you have any questions, you can always send me a direct message or a private message, and I can help answer any further questions that you have. But anyways, that's how to get there. Again, you go to your home page. All right, well, actually, your member page right here, and you would log in right here under the combined e-learning in the combo room. All right, that's what we call it for short, combo room, but it's combined e-learning room. Okay, so it's right in there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the summary from yesterday. Not summary, but summary from Friday. So today's June 1st, so I say rabbit on the first day of the month, first thing in the morning before I wake up. Actually, as I'm waking up, gives me good luck. That's just my thing. You can try it if you want. I like it. I just want to say good morning. Thanks for being here. My SPY pivot this morning doesn't remain. It's a new one. It's 756. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. IWM made an inside day yesterday, Friday, closing over a bullish trap, just barely over a bullish trap, over the rising 17. We had quite a few new all-time highs. We got SPY made a new all-time high. Diamond Dow made a new all-time high. QQQ made a new all-time high. FNGU made a new all-time high. SPY closed with a 10-minute bullish consolidation. Kind of like had like a 3-candle uptrend, but it's hard for me to call it an uptrend, so I'm just going to call it bullish consolidation. 2-hour uptrend. Gold made a higher low and a higher high, closing over bearish trap, but under the falling 17. Silver, higher high and higher low, closing inside a bearish trap and under the flat 17 EMA. USO started a new downtrend by making a lower low. Made a lower low and a lower high, closed under a bearish trap and under the flat 17. UNG made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap and over the flat 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a daily uptrend in that big bear flag, 10-month bear flag there. Closed near the 98-94 area. SPY max pain for today, 754, with a put to call ratio of about 1.15 puts for each call that expires today at 4:15. I do not have the main event, so we will take a look at it when we review the economic page or packet later on during the video here. So let's take a look at the markets from yesterday. Oh, by the way, I'm short. Okay, I'm short SPY shares and MES futures, price breaking below this area right through here. My stop is 30 cents over the pre-market high. Okay, so it's 759.60. You can put it right here if you wanted to. You could actually put it right up there, right over the top of that base right there, 758.90. If you wanted a tight stop, but you might get stopped out. You know, just saying. That's where I like to put my stop. It's 30 cents over pre-market high. So short SPY shares and MES futures right now. Okay, looking for my first target. It's going to be, first target is going to be right here at 757.45. That's my first target. Second target's gap fill. Third target's yesterday's low of day. Okay, so first target 757.45. Second target gap fill, which is 756.40. And my third target is right down here, pre-market low, okay, or post-market low from yesterday, 755.16, right there. Okay, so those are the targets on the downside. If you want me to type them out there, say something. If not, I'm going to move on to the next topic here. Okay. Hey, good morning, Gilbert. All right, so there's 10-minute into the close here yesterday. You can see got kind of like a squeaker, four candle uptrend. It's really just bullish consolidation. You can see price moves up, and then we just kind of waffle back and forth across VWAP. But we're just doing bullish consolidation up here at these highs. For me, that's what it looks like to me. Not much movement going on. Notice the 10-minute. Not very much on a 10-minute trend right through here. More 5-minute trends than there are 10-minute trends. There are some 10-minute trends, but they just last for like 2 or 3 candles, and then they peter out. So it's really not 10-minute trends. Kind of like much better off if you're playing those on the 5 because they're just waffling back and forth across VWAP right there. All right, so by the way, this morning, okay, we do have price action over prior price action, so we could see price hit one of these targets here and then reverse back up there, okay? Just saying that because that is a bullish environment right there. Personally, I'd like to trade a 10-minute uptrend, but I don't have one right now currently. I'm expecting maybe one to manifest sometime today. We'll find out. But right now we got a little downtrend right there. So I'm trading that to the downside. And I see a little bit of exhaustion clues. The market getting tired. I've seen a couple dojis being made in the last couple of days. So it looks like the market's getting tired. It's time to roll over. Or at least pull back and get some more spinach. Some red meat, something that fortify the strength inside the trend and hopefully take another running stab up there at the highs. All right, so there's 10-minute chart right there. 2-hour chart. We got you got the sticks. Let's just go to this. Okay, you got the sticks and the 3 riding up on top of the 8 EMA. We got daylight between the 3 and the 8, so we got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. 10-minute uptrend or bullish consolidation, whatever you want to call it, coming into the close. A 2-hour daily chart, new all-time high. Okay, that's this red candle here. Okay, so let me make sure. Yep, red candle right here. So new all-time high. So right there, that's going to be bullish and in an uptrend. You know, and if you're making a new all-time high on the daily, then you're doing the same on the weekly and the monthly as well. So new all-time high there for SPY. So bullish and in an uptrend coming into the close. Let's take a look at QQQ, and we'll look at that on the 10-minute chart. On the 10-minute chart, we've got, let's go over here. Again, 1, 2, 3 candle consolidation, bullish consolidation. You can call it an uptrend if you want. For me, it's kind of a move over to the right because you've got some price action right here, like a brick of price action right there for about 4 hours. All right, and then we've got more price action up here, a little bit sloppier. All right, this is nice, clean, and tight. Then we got the breakout. All right, but this is kind of sloppy through here. And you can see price action goes up there. And it's over the prior brick of price action right there. So I call it bullish consolidation right there. So we'll see what happens this morning, okay? They kind of held on to that bullish consolidation right into pre-market, right into post-market, all the way till. And then it looks like once the market opened up, they fired off an igniting candle there when they lost over 50% of that candle. Not a good sign for the QQQ. All right, so there's QQQ 10-minute. So as of yesterday, bullish consolidation on the 10-minute chart. And then we're going to go to the 2-hour right here, 2-hour chart. And you can still see the sticks and the 3. All right, riding up on top of the rising 8. So that's 2-hour uptrend coming into the close right here. Okay, so 2-hour uptrend, 10-minute uptrend, daily candle. Okay, it's going to be this one right here. All right, so they made a new all-time high. So that's bullish and in an uptrend. So new all-time high on the daily is a new all-time high on the weekly and the monthly as well. So that's bullish. Here's the origin of our move right here, April. All the way here up at the top. Haven't made any lower lows, so we're still in that uptrend. So bullish and in an uptrend for QQQ. Go back and look at SPY. All right, you can see the origin of the move, same place. All right, last day of March. Again, up here at the top, haven't made any lower lows, so bullish and in an uptrend. So they're spying QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM. So here's IWM, and I'm just going to turn this off. Okay, so we've got inside day, got the little hammer going on. All right, got a higher low, lower high, closed over bullish trap, over the rising 17, up here at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Again, the origin starts back here at the end of March. Okay, they haven't made any lower lows, so bullish and in an uptrend on IWM. Diamond Dow starts back here in end of March. You can see they put in a new all-time high, so that's bullish and in an uptrend for Diamond Dow. Okay, see that 4-candle hold and then a rip breakout. Nice 4-candle hold right there. That's what I call planking. All right, that's a show of strength. And what do you get when you get a show of strength like that? Typically, you get rewarded with a nice little breakout. So there's Diamond Dow, bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU, this was the, I'm going to pan way out here. Okay, so this is the all-time low. That's the all-time high with this pink line on it. We don't need this anymore. Okay, I'm going to take out this one too. Don't need that. Okay, so there's the all-time high. That was the all-time high. We pulled back, made a higher low, and now we just ripped and made a higher high. So there's FNGU on the daily. making a new all-time high. So that's going to be bullish and in an uptrend for FNGU on the daily chart right there. Probably weekly and monthly as well. All right, let's take a look at precious metals. Let's start off with silver. And on silver, we've got a higher low and a higher high. We closed inside a bearish trap under the falling 17. Underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, you can see, I'll pan out a little bit here so you can see more of it. Okay, you can see we're in the bottom of quadrant 3. So that's going to be neutral. All right, and we haven't made any lower lows yet, so we're still in an uptrend. It's one of those dysfunctional uptrends. Price is not moving up. It's kind of melting off or moving over to the right. So there's silver, neutral, dysfunctional uptrend so far. Okay, let's take a look at gold. All right, gold put in a higher low and a higher high. They closed over a bearish trap under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. And you can see if I put the crosshairs on the quad lines up here, you can see we're in the top upper third up there. Anything above those crosshairs, all right, is upper third. So you can see they're still in the upper third, so that's bullish. And they're still in a downtrend. They have not made any higher highs yet. You can see they got a low right here, and they made lower lows, so they're still in that downtrend until they start making some higher highs. So that is bullish and in a downtrend. But get this, remember silver was neutral but in an uptrend. All right, so there's gold and silver. Let's take a look at USO. On USO, we got a lower high and a lower low. And see, we got a low here, and we made a lower low. All right, so lower high, lower low, closed under a bearish trap, closed underneath the falling 17, closed in the upper 1/3 of the quad line. So that's going to be up at the top of quadrant 3. That's going to be bullish up there, but in a downtrend because they made lower lows right through here. So bullish, but in a downtrend on USO. Let's take a look at UNG. And on UNG, we got a higher low and a higher high. We close over a bullish trap. We close over a hooking rising 17 EMA. That is all the way down here. I'm going to pan out so you can see it. Okay, so you can see that's quadrant 4, 3, 2. This is 1. This is the all-time low. We're in the middle of quadrant 1, so we're still bearish. But get this, we're moving up, okay? So we're bearish, but in an uptrend because we keep making higher lows, and then we just got a higher high right there. So that's bearish, but in an uptrend on UNG. Let's take a look at internals. And let's move over here for a second, and let's take a look at T2101. So T2101, you got a few of the indexes made some new all-time highs. We're losing a little participation. That's kind of a bearish sign right there that they're not interested in participating in a rally going up further. So that's kind of like a bearish clue in that we lost some participation yesterday as the market was hitting new all-time highs. That makes for a very unstable high up there, and that thing could come tumbling down. On the 2-hour chart, you can see, no, I didn't want to go to the 2-hour chart. I wanted to go to T2102. T2102, we spent the day inside the seller's chop zone. Another bearish clue there, along with these lower lows and lower highs. So we got a high there, got a lower high, got a low there, we got a lower low. So you can see price action for or data action for T2122. We spent the day in the seller's chop zone. This would be bearish control under the gold line. All right, the gold line's like the 50-yard line. Bullish control up here, bearish control down here. So slight bearish control down here because we're below the gold line. We're not up here where the buyers are. So it's that's another bearish clue. I don't like the idea of us making lower highs and lower lows either, okay? We're starting to put in a trend line there on T2122 that I don't like because I'm a bull, but that's what it is. All right, so here's T2123. This is the 3-bar. No, this is the 15-minute. Yeah, the 15-minute chart, and you can see price action. Okay, we've got some lows, and we made lower lows, so that's a downtrend coming into the close. We're up over the flat 200 SMA. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. Still some things to make a note of. We got a bullish gap here that hasn't been filled. We have another bullish gap here that hasn't been filled. Another bullish gap here that hasn't been filled. So it's still kind of early, and you can see they're still planking up there for 3 days. Excuse me, for 3 days straight up there. So if I put the quad lines on this, you're going to see that price is in the upper quadrant 4. Okay, you can see price, quadrant 4. So that's bullish. And you can see, but we're in a downtrend because you can see we made these little micro lower highs. And you got a low here. We made a significant lower low right there on T2123. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. Same product. Again, over the rising 200 SMA, that's where you want to be if you're a bull. You can see this low right here did not take out this low. So this is still in an uptrend. Price action's up over that rising 200. So that's bullish. Price up here in middle of quadrant 4, that's going to be bullish. And we're in an uptrend. We have not made any lower lows yet on the markets. That's T2123, so bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at FNGU, and you can see FNGU bullish gap up yesterday, gap and go, and it's actually in the post market, right? No, that would be, no, this was Friday. So bullish gap up, not filled by the bears, holding the higher ground up here. So that is, did we make a higher high? Let's see, we got a lower low. Well, we left off with a downtrend because they squeaked out, believe it or not, a penny lower low right here. So we got a low here, but they didn't get, yeah, they did. So, and we got a lower low here. So they got a downtrend on FNGU on the 15-minute chart. But if I put the quad lines on here, and I start back here in April where the rally began, right there, you can see, watch this. We're all the way at the top of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. But in a downtrend because they squeaked out a lower low before closing last night or early this morning. All right, let's take a look at the economic package. And first I want to take a look at the gamma exposure, so I'm going to refresh that. See if it changed at all. All right, so call wall is 760. Put wall is still 750. We are in a net positive gamma regime, and I gotta see the call gex is just slightly over the put gex gamma exposure right there. So put wall is 750. Remember on that max pain, that 754 is max pain. So just because the put wall is down there, it's more than likely to pop up to 754. So if market does open up, I'll be looking for probably 754, 755 puts for today if we still have that downtrend that I traded short earlier in the pre-market here about 20 minutes ago. All right, so there's FNGU. We looked at the U.S. dollar index right here. Got a 6-month flagpole. Okay, it's a bear downtrend, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So got ourselves a daily downtrend right here that lasted for about 6 months. And then we got like a 10-month bear flag right through here. And you can see they broke all of these valley lows. That would have been the major support. We broke the major support, and we've tried several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, all right, to break back into that consolidation zone that we were once in before for about 2 years, about a year and a half, right there. So currently we're in this 10-month bear flag. They made a high here, and they made a higher high, so now they're in an uptrend. They made a lower low earlier, all right, but then they turned around and made a higher high, so that made them bullish. So this is on the dollar. That is still in an uptrend right there. Okay, bullish and in an uptrend, but still in that bear flag. Let's take a look at the economic package. And I'm kind of jumping around here. I don't mean to do that. 754 is the max pain for today for the SPY calls and puts that expire today. Put to call ratio is about little over 1 put for each call that expires today. That's on the SPY max pain calculator. For the earnings reports, and see if I can get this to refresh. All right, Hewlett Packard's going to report after the close. A lot of familiar names here, but nothing here has the market cap to move the indexes. All right, they will definitely help out in their sectors, but not enough market cap to actually make any movement in the indices right through here. Remember, all eyes are going to be on tech. Tech started this rally, and tech's going to end this rally. That's my opinion. All right, so Palo Alto Networks, $210 billion. All right, they're going to report after the close tomorrow. Again, we're not going to see a whole lot of market, how do I say it, influence coming out of the earnings. They just don't have enough market cap. None of these do yet, okay? We might get to Broadcom. Now that one will have some influence on the markets. So here is, speaking of Broadcom, there it is. Okay, so there's $2 trillion on Broadcom. That reports Wednesday after the close. That's going to be part of your AI tip of the spear tech rally that you're getting right now. So that will have a big impact on where the trend or where the current rally is going to go, or if it's going to stall out somewhere. Okay, so all eyes will be on AVGO on Wednesday evening after the close. Thursday, who do we got? Again, some more familiar names, but nothing here that's going to be index moving. All right, right there. Definitely move some sectors, but moving the index, not very likely, not likely at all. On Friday, again, more familiar names, but nothing here that's going to be a market mover right there. All right, so all eyes going to be on Broadcom. Broadcom might be the main event this week. We'll find out here in just a second. See what we got for the economic package. I hope I'm on the right day. This is June 1st. Okay, so we're on the right day. PMI manufacturing final 945 comes out that comes out today. ISM manufacturing index comes out at 10 today. Construction spending comes out at 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, and that's it for that. On Tuesday, what do we got? Motor vehicle sales comes out at probably 7 in the morning or 6:45. Then we got JOLTS, comes out at 10 o'clock on the JOLTS on Wednesday. So that was Tuesday right there. We already did Monday. Remember, Monday was PMI manufacturing final, and ISM manufacturing index. Okay, and then on Wednesday, we got MBA mortgage applications at 7. That's pretty normal. ADP employment report, that's at 8:15. PMI composite final. All right, remember we just had PMI on Monday. All right, PMI composite final at 9:45. Factory orders at 10 o'clock. ISM services index comes out at 10 o'clock right there. And then we got a petroleum report at 10:30. Okay, and then beige book at 2 o'clock. Thursday, what do we got going on here? So nothing here that's going to be really market moving right here. And on Friday, we got the employment situation. That's going to be the main event. So you got one main event in the earnings. That's going to be Broadcom. And then you got the employment situation. That is always good for a nice breakout. All right. And that happens on the 5th. All right. Yeah, the 5th of June. All right. So all eyes going to be on the employment situation. Let's take a look at the markets early this morning, see what else we can extrapolate from the markets, see what we can get going. Again, I took a trade earlier this morning. Might have got stopped out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see here. I got it posted. Where is it posted? Yeah, it's not. No, you know what it is? I don't have SPY up there. And let's take a look at it on the 5-minute chart and right there. Okay, so as price broke below this base right through here, okay, that's like an hour-long base. If you're on a 5-minute chart there, it's like almost an hour long. And you can see price broke through the bottom. Okay, so the first target is 757.45. Okay, that's the first target. The second target's going to be gap fill, 756.41. And the third target's going to be post-market low, which winds up being down here, 755.29. Those are the first three targets. Remember, max pain is 754, so I would expect price to probably find a way to put the put wall up there at 754. And if we're still in a positive gamma regime as we come into that put wall, it should act as resistance or like rubber. In other words, price will come into it and bounce right back up to them. And that's it right there for this morning. So I would like to trade an uptrend, but currently we have this 10-minute downtrend. I don't know how long this is going to go. I do see some cracks in the market on the daily time frame, and I want to talk about those cracks. Notice the candles are getting smaller up here. So you got these three right here, three little like doji candles right there, followed by nothing impressive on that candle. That just looks like a average day. And then we got two more dojis. So chances are we're getting close to a point where the market needs to pull back and re-energize. So it may consolidate, it may dump completely. I don't know what it's going to do, but if we do get a pullback, I think the first pullback is buyable. We'll find out here. I want some confirmation. The hard part is there's no support. First support we come to is the prior all-time highs, which are way back here at 700. All right, so there's no support all the way through all of this till you get to 700, and that's not even any part of this rally. It actually is the previous high right over here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. All right, but in the pre-market, I see price action over prior price actions, that's bullish. I'd really rather trade an uptrend, but I saw some opportunity in that, market is getting exhausted looking at those doji candles on the daily time frame. So I decided to trade something short on a whim right there, just on a whim. So we'll find out what happens. So this one's going to take me to the farm, all right, and we're going to camp out with the bulls and the cows or whatever, and I'm going to check it out over there. So we'll see what happens with the bulls this morning. Got a 10-minute downtrend commencing right now. This is the rubber band candle. If we produce a candle that closes below that wick, that tail down there, that would be another red erases green entry, or that would be a break of the 10-minute bearish rubber band candle, which is another entry right there in itself. So we'll see what happens. We are at the we're at the pre-market lows right now, and we'll see if we're going to continue to keep rolling over with this 10-minute downtrend. All right, I'll take questions in the room. If there's no questions, I will see you guys in about 35 minutes, and we will trade and record the next day together. All right, and see if we can make some money this morning. I think we might be able to. If we get that 10-minute downtrend, I think there's a good chance we do a gap fill. Now remember, if they miss by a penny, all right, a gap fill, chances are they're not coming back here for like another 3.5, 4 hours. All right, that's just saying that. So be careful. That's look like a bell. Anyways, that's it this morning. I'll see you guys in about 35 minutes here. All right, so currently I'm in this trade right here. Okay, and pull this down. So my stop is 759.60. All right, and I short some SPY shares and some MES futures.